Welcome to the Create It with Katrina Julia show by Fit Life Creation, where we talk all the things on faith, wellness, marketing, business, and travel, so you create a life and business you love. I understand the struggle. I've transformed every area of life, from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and bondage to freedom, including transitioning from over 7 industries and more. You will learn all the things to create, transform, and inspire a life and business you love. So let's create it. Welcome to 2023 Vision Ahead and my first podcast recording for 2023. But first, I wanted to share a beautiful review from Sandra Nemoto from Canada that shares love Katrina's mix of bite-sized tip episodes and deep dives, which benefit anyone interested in a life of wellness, travel, and business. Thank you so much for leaving a review. We so appreciate it. So let's get into 2023 vision, a year ahead. The year of 2022 feels like it passed by in a blink of an eye. Does anyone else feel like that? I feel like I just celebrated the start of 2022. Since you are here tuning in, it is safe to say you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur or influencer, content creator, and or educator in wellness, media, biz, or travel. If you are here, I am going to venture out and say that I know you love to create a life and business you love. Now, spoiler alert, 2022 vision did not go exactly as planned. Anyone else? However, a lot of the vision did come to pass, showing progress in over every area of life. In fact, when I sat back and reflected in some of my recent episodes, I noticed that literally over 80 to 90% of the vision came to pass. My phrase for 2022 was, I am perfectly present. As a result, my gratitude, presence, and contentment increased exponentially. It did blow my mind in every way, from stability and growth, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, to traveling full time for half the year, including in 2022, travel to Colombia, a press trip in Panama on a private island, sponsored with Wanderfest with Wonderful in New Orleans, seeing my parents again after over 2 years on adventures in Portugal, Bulgaria, and Turkey, and returning to the USA to set up my home base in Atlanta again, to name a few of the incredible things that happened. Although I met and exceeded goals in many areas, I did not meet some of my business, financial, and or relational goals and desires. I believe they will happen at the right time, which also shows me I've learned with time that there's more either that I'm preparing for, there's more that I'm pruning, there's more that I'm shifting pain to purpose, and or it's not the right time, that there's other things I don't know, and being comfortable with the unknown. I'm being grateful. My framework for vision and goal setting has increased in confidence and clarity and continues to evolve. Primarily, this has to do with my faith in our Creator. Secondarily, an increased investments in time and money with live and online communities like Transformation Church, Lifeway Women, Passion City, Live Atlanta, Herbalife Nutrition, and social curator communities, to name a few. In 2022, it was a really interesting year, and I attribute that a lot to my focus of I'm perfectly present. So what happened is I increased and focused more on gratitude and contentment in the daily actions, regardless of the outcome, and continued to take massive leaps of faith, like applying for grants and investments with National Geographic, like submitting for a project with Marriott Bonvoy and Chase, and numerous other things as well. And also in the midst of external chaos in our world and some internal chaos and or circumstances that I was healing or growing through. I choose to create clarity, calm every single day. And one of the things that really started speaking to me as far as affirmations a couple months ago, actually two that I'm going to share. One is in moments where I'm feeling maybe unsettled or anxiety, that I remind myself I am safe, I am stable, and I am secure. And I realized in a lot of my healing journey this year, and especially reading a book and doing activities in a journal with Stéphane Labossiere, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Healing from Heartbreak, which really had me dive into a lot of internal challenges, a lot of inner child things, a lot of, ways to heal and forgive. That when I reflected on things from my past and our childhood, I realized where I either grew up with instability and or experienced instability or eruptions or didn't feel safe, stable, or secure because of things that were happening around me that I had no control over, but learning more and more and more to create that state all the time and bring myself back internally, eternally, and breathing calmly. So that's one of the affirmations. And then the other one is I am overflowing with love, abundance, community, peace, cash, and freedom. I am overflowing with love, abundance, peace, community, cash, and freedom. So you can see how that affirmation literally speaks life into anything that's the opposite of any of those things. Like anytime I'm feeling maybe discouraged or anything like that, and shifting that. And I really feel like this year developed further beyond prior years and my transformation from the inside out from 2011 to 2022. And I feel like so many things, especially once I came back to Atlanta in May, started to culminate. And it was almost like the pause on the transformations that I was experiencing internally while I was in Atlanta. Like it almost felt like there was a pause while I went off to travel, almost 2 years full time. And I feel like when I came back, it was like my soul knew, okay, you're ready for more. You're ready for more healing. You're grounded. You're in one place, etc. And if you haven't tuned into my episode or blog on transformation from the inside out or how transformation is required to create a life and business you love, I highly recommend you do. And I share on the themes of fear to faith, self-hate to love, devaluing to purity, corporate to calling, lies to love, pain to purpose, and bondage to freedom. Because I really feel like step by step, those are the themes that my transformation has embodied. So, someone pinch me. I just set my 2023 vision. This has been already a week in the making. I've been taking my time. You can listen to some of my past episodes on 2022 reflections. I attended a vision workshop last week with Turn Up Tansy. I love her energy and her dancing. I revisited my vision board. I ordered some affirmation cards because I realized where affirmations are helping me radically. So I ordered some on Amazon. I outlined my vision and year on Passion Planner, and I'm actually connected with Angelique already. I'm reaching out to her, the founder of Passion Planner. If you don't follow them on Instagram, definitely connect with them. And hopefully to feature her on the show on a creator snapshot. You can check some of that out at bit.ly, so bit.ly/FLC influencer for ways to be featured on our show, collaborations that we have, and more. And also, I did the digital passion planner. I'm doing the written version this weekend. And then I am also creating in some time and I've increased exponentially visualization and a money love workshop with Cassandra Bodzak, which is amazing, and EFT. So if you don't know what EFT is, it's emotional frequency technique, I believe. Please forgive me if I forgot that. Uh, I am human. I believe it's emotion frequency technique. Let me just double check because something prompted me. Uh, or emotional freedom, blah, blah, blah. Emotional freedom technique is, I believe, what it is. Because so many times, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So, so many times, so I am, first of all, you guys, I am an avid proponent of therapy. I have done therapy 3 different times for a year straight over the last 10 years. And I've felt and experienced so much transformation. And one of the, I like to do faith based therapy, and faith based combined with practical application and different things like emotional freedom technique and EMDR. So, EMDR, let me refresh my brain real quick because it's been a while. EMDR, I first heard about from Shailene Johnson when I was in her Smart Success course back in 2017, and I believe 2018 was the year that I did my second year fully of therapy, and felt led and connected with an incredible therapist here in Atlanta at the time at Mount Parents Richmond University, Larissa. And if you don't know what EMDR is, it's eye movement desensitization, tongue twister, and reprocessing therapy. It is excellent for reprocessing trauma from childhood, PTSD, and other things that you perhaps have buried or don't have an awareness of that you've experienced with family, with friends, with abuse, with sexual abuse. And so, one of the things that I used EMDR for was really healing and reprocessing things from an abusive relationship I experienced in my late teens to early 20s, and different words that were spoken over my life, and different volcanic like situations growing up that I never really realized how it affected my stability until later on. And so EMDR was life changing for me. And another thing that I felt led to several years ago that I've been increasing the frequency of with Cassandra's videos is EFT, with the emotional freedom technique. It really, really helps you basically speak out the negative thoughts that you're having, and then literally transition them as you're tapping on different meridian points in your body, literally transitioning and releasing emotions and shifting your thoughts. And I can tell you, I've experienced everything from, like, in a moment, say I'll have, anxiety or depression that I'm feeling like on a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. And after a tapping session that I do myself, I'll decrease to like a 3. Last week, I did one session where I literally started bawling. And this is me just doing it myself, because yes, you can do it in the context of therapy 100%, but you can also do it yourself. Like yesterday, not yesterday, but the day before, one of the activities I did was go and spend about 45 minutes in a multicolor infrared sauna. And one of the things I did amidst my quiet time and prayer and journaling was EFT. And I didn't do it by following Cassandra or anybody. I did it by simply doing it myself, and whatever was coming to mind for me in negative thoughts, and then choosing to see things differently and choosing to speak out new thoughts that I was believing, or new words or new scriptures, whatever it was that was coming to my mind and spirit. So that is a part of that journey as well. And as far as, walking through that, and, not to mention, I will be sharing a video the end of this week on 2023 vision, goal setting, and daily habits, and show you guys some behind the scenes, show you aspects of my vision board, of, things to think about if you're setting that goal setting, and then daily habits, and, how to stay accountable, both with self accountability, because I'm an avid believer of holding yourself accountable and keeping your word to yourself. Okay. Both, like you'll hear me talk about in this episode, 7 steps to success: spiritual, mental, emotional, relational, playful, physical, and financial. And then also community accountability, which I'm going to talk about some of that too. And then also, I learned so much from, full-time travel 2020 through 2022, and it helped me grow exponentially and releasing the unknown. So you have found the right community to create it. You are here on purpose for a purpose, and let's create it your vision ahead. So as I go through the different areas, I encourage you to pause and think about your vision, say for spiritual, for mental, for emotional, just setting an intention for you and giving you guidance on how you can approach this episode to really, really, really get the most value from it. And then also take the time to reflect. I would highly encourage you, if you're already in this episode, you're in it, but I would highly encourage you, to pause in it and approach it that way. And then also go back to reflect on 2022 and my prior episodes, and then tune into my YouTube video to really get setting your plan and feeling really great, a really great intention, setting a word or a phrase for your year, getting clarity, doing goal setting, getting a lot of insight and tools. I would also encourage you to definitely check out my series that's coming up. It's going to be a renewal of what I shared last year, if you've already been tuning in, and a lot more communities and tools on 75 plus tools to create a life and business you love. And definitely get on my email list if you're not already, okay? Just so many ways you can connect with me. I am Katrina Julia Fit and/or Fit Life Creation on all the things. So newsflash, I will help you simplify health, wealth, and business so that you create a life and business you love simpler and faster than you ever imagined. Maybe you are used to learning from various teachers, coaches, and guides like me because you love to be open to different perspectives, and during different times, you're open to different people. Perhaps you've invested in various planners like I have. To name a few of the people I have learned from and our communities, they include strategic coach, Brendan Bouchard, Shailene Johnson, Rachel Hollis, Garen Jones, Herbalife Nutrition, Michael Todd, Jasmine Starr, social curators, Marie Forleo's B School. So you know that I am not sharing anything I'm not avidly engaged into. Yes, I take a lot of quiet time and a lot of journaling time and create my own clarity and listen to divine downloads from our creator, but I also take a lot of time to invest in my own personal and organizational and community growth. I've gone within and above to find my own path and purpose to create what I love. And some you will find are influenced by community. And I've definitely created and continue to create strategies, structures, and systems. So you'll definitely find a lot of strategic and practical and tactical things throughout my blog and show. And of course, all throughout the website and the freebies. So since 2015, I've intentionally chosen to set prayerful time to reflect in gratitude, cast a vision for the upcoming year, and line up to my life legacy. And the last year included 7 things I learned from a year of travel. So if travel, interests you and, having that freedom, I definitely encourage you to tune into several of those within the podcast and/or under the travel theme or transform and travel on the blog. So every step helps align to create a vision. To start the new year, to give you additional activities that I did, I connected with community with Brendan Bouchard and Growth Day. That's also coming up the end of this week. And also the 3x7 approach of 3. So what I typically do daily is be very aware in taking aligned actions spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, physically, playfully, and financially. So that's the 7 steps. And then typically, whether we know it or not, we're taking at least 3 actions in every area. So I'm very aware of taking aligned actions with what I say I want. So for example, mentally, that can be journaling, that can be prayer, that can be EFT for me, right? And one of my favorite scriptures is without vision, people perish, Proverbs 29:18. So I absolutely increased in 2022 in faith, presence, and consistency no matter what. I recognize how I used to be so tied to the outcome. And I found myself sometimes getting really discouraged when there wasn't like quote unquote the outcome I wanted or I judged or the validation or the promotion. But I realized oftentimes the gift is in the perspective and the shift from pain to purpose before any of that comes, because then we are not tied to it. So how could I not living, in a world that constantly focuses on performance, status, and recognition? And that's the other thing I want to encourage you guys is forgive yourself and give yourself grace when you have those moments or those days. Because I can tell you in 2022, I also forgave myself to new levels. I recorded a forgiveness letter to myself that I often listen to. That was one of the activities in the Healing Heartbreak Journal. I also, gave myself grace for the times, that I, felt like, okay, I just need to listen to a positive message. Like I'm feeling really discouraged, or, some days where I felt like that and the weather didn't help, but then my phrase for this year is I am divinely disciplined, which you can imagine is challenging me and will challenge me, that I'll share, throughout this year and the end of the year, to new and exponential levels. Like I already know it's already challenged me the last 3 days. So vision framework part 1 and 2. So similar to previous years, I'm going to share the 7 steps to success. And then I'm going to follow a part 2 focus on finances. And I also, the last 90 days of 2022, I increased community and accountability with communities like the Buckhead Business Association and Atlanta Girl Gang. So I was already, casting the vision and taking action in ways that I knew that was going to move me forward, including submitting for the role of VP of Marketing for the Buckhead Business Association, that I'm super grateful for and excited to, create that journey. So it's time for you to create a 2023 vision. If you love vision, goal setting, and creating, you are my kind of people. So I want you to get one thing. Nothing happens overnight. And you've probably heard the quote that we can often overestimate what we can do in a year, and then we underestimate what we can do in 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. And there's no instant change like turning on a light switch. Yes, sometimes we can instantaneously change or be shifted or delivered from a thought. But then you're shifting different things over time to ultimately create the life of freedom that you truly desire and are born for. Transformation takes time. What I've learned is that the bigger the vision, typically the more challenges, obstacles, and or resistance you face that really are our friends. Like it may not feel like it in the moment, but oftentimes they're revealing weaknesses or areas that we're weak in, like where the muscle is flabby. Our character, our discipline, and accountability transforms us like we never imagined. I know mine has. I'm a totally different person in so many ways. On top of that, the current circumstances we have and our people can impact us too. My vision continues to be blown up by our creator all the time. I will not shy away from telling you that the climb with calling, purpose, and entrepreneurship has sometimes felt like climbing up Mount Everest. Not that I would know, because I rather free dive or scuba dive than climb up 30,000 plus feet to see the plane pass. No offense to anyone that does that. Hey, that's your thing. I may do base camp at some point. That's on a totally different note. I refuse to be the girl that tells you it will happen overnight or you're going to reach 6 figures in 6 months. For sure. You might. I'm not saying you won't or that it can't happen. Or I'm not, saying that I don't speak, that it gets to be easier or that those things can't happen in my future. They haven't happened yet for me directly. They've happened in results that I've generated for others. But I choose to see things differently and that it gets easier because we get stronger. Every fear, every item I have ever given power to, and everything I once judged myself and others has been put to the test and continues to. The bottom line is we get to fight for our faith and freedom. Sometimes it's one another or both at the same time. Without a shadow of a doubt, I can say for me, without God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, I would not be here and sane. And whatever you believe, I still love you and I'm glad you're here and I'm honoring whatever it is that you believe. Casting and creating a vision is not a one-time affair. It is daily. And you may also want to check out my blog that's hyperlinked, 7 ways to win the day as an entrepreneur, and or how to have a rockstar day as an entrepreneur on my YouTube channel. So my phrase for 2023, as I shared, is I am divinely disciplined. Okay. So I encourage you to read books like Get One Word and or go in internally or whatever your practices are to really see what word and or what phrase is speaking to you. So I shared this year's and last year's. The year before was I am anchored in love, and that was the first year that I had a phrase. Then before that, I started having words back in like 2017. So in 2020, you guys, my word was joy. So you can imagine how much I was challenged to uphold and create joy in that year. So vision framework part 1, 7 steps to success, spiritual. In 2022, I grew spiritually in daily habits, reading the Bible on my third time straight through, finishing studies like Elijah, serving in Transformation Church online. Every day I speak out affirmations like I'm a beautiful, wonderful child of God. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Plus the other affirmations I mentioned and the ones that are coming along as well through the mail. So some of my favorite verses for those of you that are interested include Galatians 5:1, Corinthians 13, Proverbs 31, Philippians 4:8, Isaiah 61:3, Deuteronomy 8:18, Proverbs 10:22, and Galatians 5:22. My goals for 2023 include finishing the Bible for the third time, because I got about halfway through last year, the Jude Bible study that I'm in now, attending a Lifeway event, participating in Church Live at Live Atlanta, and continuing to serve TC, Transformation Church, online. Mental. My goals for my mental state include increasing my daily discipline, no matter how I feel, to shift those feelings. I am intentionally increasing daily discipline with ways I improve my mental state, like journaling, prayer, music, and accountability. And some of what I shared earlier is practicing both self and community accountability. And as I shared earlier, I set up my home base in Atlanta again. And so some of that is also helping me with daily discipline, like whether it's going to the gym upstairs, right? Or whether it's taking a walk close by. Emotional ties readily to mental, and some of that also includes, like what I mentioned earlier, like the EFT techniques and practicing EFT daily. Exploring right now to partner with a platform to do social media with a therapy platform all year, so that A, I don't pay for it, B, I advocate for therapy avidly. In addition to that, it's completing an inner child healing workbook that I found on Amazon, giving myself grace, and increasing self-discipline overall step by step. So you can see how I'm honoring my heart, I'm honoring my soul and any healing that needs to take place. I'm giving myself grace. I'm removing judgment. I'm removing condemnation. I'm forgiving myself. But at the same time, I'm challenging myself lovingly to increase self-discipline. So I've already noticed that in the last 3 days, where I took some extra time for some reflection and or healing, but I also already accelerated my self-discipline this year, say compared to last year. And I already set up a lot of that momentum in December, because I was already clear that my phrase for this year is I am divinely disciplined. Playful. So this year has started radically different from the start of 2022 and 2021. With that, I am here in Atlanta. And one of the things is, you guys, and one of the things actually two things. I am increasing play and aligning with different brands and opportunities in Atlanta. Like maybe doing some flights with a particular flight company in Atlanta in the spring. Also, I did submit and take massive leaps of faith in 2022, like I mentioned, with Swimsuit International, Virgin Voyages, National Geographic, and Marriott Bonvoy that are still in process. Oh, and the Polish Tourism Bureau aligned to UK. So I'm super grateful for that. But at the same time, I have disciplined myself to say, okay, Katrina, you're focusing on financial flow and freedom. And if you've been listening, you know that I went on a Virgin Voyages cruise during my birthday month in October. But after that, I started telling myself, Katrina, no, you got to travel the last year and a half-ish full time that some people have never gotten to do in a lifetime. You absolutely expanded adventure so much, and you get to do that again even more in Atlanta. And right now, unless something shifts with paid travel and or you're doing content creation at retreat sites, for brands and or with creators and or it's paid and or press trips, keep in mind your financial flow and freedom goals. Speaking of, I'm also in the Clever Finance community right now and sharing a ton about them. I'm going to share even more coming up. But first, let's get into the physical aspects. Hey, you guys, I absolutely love Anchor. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Not to mention, it is free. I've used Anchor for over a year now. I've been podcasting for over 3 years, produced over 400 shows, and I can definitely say I cannot see myself going anywhere else. Anchor distributes your show for you so that it can be heard on Spotify, on Apple, on Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listeners. So that is also something that is totally different and that I did not experience before. There's tools that are built in that literally make it like podcasting for dummies. You can, not that you're a dummy, you're not a dummy, I'm not a dummy, none of us are dummies, but I just think of those books like such and such thing right for dummies. You can record, edit your show right from your phone, right from your computer. And you can even add any song from Spotify directly into your episodes. It's truly limitless possibilities for what you may create, whether it's music, your own show, or something the world's never, ever heard of before. And not to mention, you guys, definitely go and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And keep in mind that when podcasting or starting your show, some things that I've learned to create your own show is that you definitely want to be yourself and share things that you're passionate about. Like I share about faith, wellness, business, and travel, and it's 100% me. So what are you waiting for? Go create your own show with Anchor now. So let's get physical. Take care of your body. It's the only place you live. Jim Rohn. So in 2023, my goal continues to be to continue to transform, and increase my self-love by daily fasted cardio and weightlifting 5 times a week. I got to that within November and December-ish. Growing wellness community 50 to 100%. Participating in a fitness show or shoot again, and performing in a dance show. If you don't know, I love to dance, whether it's hip hop, whether it's ballroom dancing, and that's something that's been on my heart that I was going to do in 2020, but the pandemic put a halt to that. And if you don't know my story in the past, I actually lost over 55 pounds 7+ years ago, and became alcohol free with the help of healthy habits, Herbalife nutrition, and competing in fitness shows. I have placed top 5 twice with the help also of Team Edge. I've done numerous century rides, triathlons, half marathons. I am an avid wellness aficionado. And that is something that is near and dear to my heart, and why also wellness is a part of every program, both online and live, that I create. So, relational. I'm praying and speaking into existence and imagining an increase in community online and live in Atlanta and all around the world. In the areas of love, I'm praying and believing that I am best friends, purpose and passion partners with the love of my life. I shared insights on this in my post in 2020 up till 2022 as well. And by the end of 2022, I already joined BBA, the Blockhead Business Association, Atlanta Girl Gang, already connected with an incredible community member like Olivia and Elizabeth. So definitely feel my community expanding as well. And like I mentioned, some of the online communities that I'm a part of, okay? let's get into Vision Framework Part 2, where I'm diving into the financial and business aspects. So, a couple of things I really want to celebrate as I reflected into 2022. I did accomplish so much with consistency and presence, and showing up and releasing the outcome and increasing my just overall spirit and energy as I was creating. I increased launches and staying consistent with that and aligning the launches across blogs, shows, YouTube, social media, and scaling them with automation and delegation exponentially like never before. And then also, I did increase in income 1,100%, paid off 5% of debt, and on the verge of improving cash flow about $1,200 a month in less than 4 months with existing income. So keep in mind, like I've learned, yes, see where you celebrate what you did achieve, because I promise you, you did achieve a lot, and then see what you like maybe missed the mark on. Maybe you set a goal but you didn't match up the belief and the action, or maybe you just weren't ready for it and there was other things that needed to happen, or maybe the timing was off for any number of reasons. Okay, but celebrate. So, moving into 2023, as I reflected and what would help me shift and flow and feel into the next level included, I'm creating a life and business and community I love. I'm creating and receiving 4 times to 10 times increased income, saving over $1,000 to $3,000, and improving net worth over $100,000 in 2023. I am DAP Supervisor World Team and Active World Team with Herbalife Global Nutrition in 2023. I am increasing my net worth by a minimum of $100,000 in 2023. Then creation and execution, the growth of 4 times to 10 times in income monthly and on average for 2023. Quarterly launch focus of courses, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, and influencer management. 3, integrating upgrades flawlessly like lifestyle brand like a boss. Continuing to scale with automation and delegation, including a minimum of 25 plus tasks in 2023. Increasing community over 50,000 across blogs, shows, website, YouTube, courses, travels, and brands. And then I go into, you can definitely dive deeper on the blog into my Create 7, which includes launches, community, scaling, online clearing, media, and projects. So, what exactly the future holds, no one knows. I know that 2020 through 2022 has unequivocally shown us we are not in control 100% of the external, but we can be in control and increase the focus internally and eternally on love, joy, abundance, gratitude, and contentment. And also keeping in mind longer term visions like the Created Center and World that I shared in the 2020 vision. And I also added accountability with Clever Girl Finance and already started making momentum in December and have completed over 3 of their courses and applied learnings as well. So it is all taking a different form for now as I'm becoming a limitless global girl and digital nomad, shifting from that into stability and it being in Atlanta for at least 50% of the time to 75% of the time, in 2023 is the intention and the goal. And interestingly enough, I just came across an influencer opportunity where actually it would potentially eliminate and or radically decrease my rent and let me have an apartment in Atlanta and or all around the nation with the platform they have. And it's not Airbnb, it's something else, because it is focused more on a minimum 30-day stays versus, Airbnb is both short-term and long-term. Although I do love, and I submitted for Airbnb as well because I love how they are now inviting and integrating properties. So I did reach out to them via a questionnaire they have on their website to potentially partner on workshops and or influencer management as well. So if you love this post, you will love the 2022 vision if you want to see and compare for yourself there as well. And please, please, please leave a review for the show on iTunes so that it helps others as well on, go across the platforms. and I will definitely shout you out. So list your website, list your Instagram handle, etc. And as always, remember, create, transform, and inspire. You are born to. All the chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel, so you create a life and business haven't already. Head on over to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagement. Let's create it.